everybody, I'm Firefighter Brian Kilpatrick. I'm here with the Water Fire Department. We're going to give you a tour around our station today. You want to come on in? Obviously, this is the trucks. We're going to get to that later on at the end of this video. Right now, I'm going to take you through where we live, where we work out throughout the day. So first of all, thank y'all for coming to the Water Fire Department. This is going to be our first stop. Y'all saw the trucks out there when we first got here. This is our office. This is where all the paperwork goes. We have to, after every call, come in here and document everything. You can see up on the screen, this kind of gives us a little hint of what's going on. It lists all the calls that are in the county right now. Later on, you will see that in the truck. So it's going to be the exact same screen so we can keep updated. All right, guys, so this is the lobby. In here we have our 1940s fire engine. This was one of the city's very first motorized fire engines. Hey guys, this is our training room. This is kind of like a classroom for us. We come in here and we have to have 192 hours a year of training. So a lot of that is training in the books. We're constantly learning. We never stop continuing education. So some of our hours come from here, but some of it come from the weight room that we're going to show you in just a bit. Alright guys, so as I mentioned earlier in the classroom, we have a weight room here. Every day we're required to have a minimum of 1 hour in physical fitness, and this is very important for our job. So we got to pick up people that are a lot heavier than us. We're stuck out there with gear that you're going to see later on. We're going to have another firefighter put on some gear for you, and that stuff gets really heavy. But if you want to follow me this way, we're going to go check out the kitchen. Alright guys, now we're in the kitchen. So if you haven't figured out now, the fire station is a lot like your house. We have a kitchen, we have bathrooms, we have a little eating area, we have TV. So after hours, we can come in here and catch up on the news. We can watch a lot of weather. If you want to come on around, you're going to see the kitchen here. Now we have 3 different shifts. We all do 24-hour shifts. So we're here from 8 in the morning until 8 in the morning the next day. And then another crew comes in. So we all have our own little food pantries. Of course, it's just like a regular kitchen. We got stove, refrigerator, kitchen sink, dishwasher, and the most important thing in here is the coffee maker. And then from the kitchen, this is where we actually sleep. This is our bunks. We each have our own room, just like you had rooms at the house. Each of us, it comes with a bed, a locker, and if you see, there's actually 3 lockers because there's 3 different shifts. Alright guys, one last stop before we go back out and look at the trucks. This is our day room. When all the work is done and it's time for us to chill out, kind of socialize with each other, we can come in here and just sit like we do, like y'all would do at your house in the living room. You know, we're basically one big family. Come in here and hang out, watch TV, joke around. Alright guys, refined trucks. Something that y'all been waiting on. This is usually everybody's part that comes up here and visits the station. Right here we have, this is our rescue truck. This is Rescue 1. This is what goes out on basically every call. We go medical calls, wrecks, fires, you name it. This is the truck that's going out there. We're going to go over some of those, but I'm going to give you a more detailed look at this truck right here. So if you want to follow me around, these compartments, they all have specific things in them. So in this one, the person that's riding in the seat, they have all their gear here, and we're going to get somebody to put on this gear, and y'all going to see what a firefighter looks like completely dressed up. But we have flashlights. As you know, fighting fires, it's not always daytime. They can happen at nighttime, or the thing about fires is there's a lot of smoke. So we got to have bright lights so we can see in there. Another cool thing is this camera right here. This is called a TIC. It is a thermal imaging camera. So, wait for it to cut on. If a room is filled up entirely with smoke, we can still see. You see my hand? See how it lights up? it shows heat signatures. If we go up there to the light, you can see it gets brighter, the hotter stuff gets. Now each compartment, like I said, has different tools in it. So we got chainsaws to cut roofs or cut trees down. We run a lot of trees down. Just odd and end stuff, backboards. In case somebody's hurt, we can load them up on this and get them on the stretcher. We have, so this thing right here, I might see this. This is kind of odd looking, but it actually hooks up to our exhaust. So on days like today, it's pretty rainy outside. We don't want to get the trucks wet. We got to try to keep it clean. This takes all the exhaust and sucks it into that and blows it right outside. So we're not breathing in all that bad diesel exhaust fuel. Now, have you ever heard of the jaws of life? That's what these are. Alright guys, so what I was showing you on this side was what they call the jaws of life. You have two different ones. You have spreaders and you have cutters. These are the cutters. These are the ones that's going to cut through metal, and I mean they can cut through a bunch of stuff. So if anybody's stuck in a car, you see, they're just like some big scissors. Cut through just about anything with these. And on the other side, those are the spreaders. You ever seen a car wreck and it's kind of crumbled in on itself? Those help put the car back to a normal state. Makes it easier for us to get in there. And on the back of here, and you'll see all these trucks have big lights. Lights are a friend, especially at night. You'll have to light up the scene. It just makes everything safer. Alright guys, so another important thing on this truck is a fan. And you're going to see fans on a lot of other trucks too. Why is a fan so important? Because in a fire you have a lot of smoke. People don't realize it, but that smoke doesn't just stay up here, it comes all the way down. So if you're ever in a fire, that's what we tell you to get low and go, because that's going to be your best chance of survival. But this, when we get on scene, it helps get that smoke out of the house. So we can see, and it just makes the conditions a whole lot safer. Now we're going to come around on this side of the truck. This is our medical compartment. In here we have all the stuff, anywhere from just first aid kits, where we can go help somebody if they got a broken arm, or if they have a number of things, really. We also have Aeds for anybody that's having a heart attack. So this is just some of our medical stuff. Of course, the med unit is coming there too, so we're not going to be the only people on the scene that has medical supplies. In this next one, you're going to see kind of more of our technical stuff. So like ropes and things like that. If somebody goes off of a cliff, or not really a cliff, but like a ravine or a deep ditch or something, we can go in there and help get them out safely using the backboard like you saw earlier, help pull them out. And if you come around to this side, if you remember the first compartment we showed, this is very similar. We have flashlights. We got another big light right here. We have air packs, which I'm going to show you on one of the other trucks. It's going to be a little bit easier to get out. But that kind of concludes it for this truck right here. And this, as you can tell, is ladder one. This is the one that you see a lot of time in the Christmas parade, along with, y'all remember the old 1940s truck? A lot of times Santa Claus is riding that one. Well, this one gets in there a lot too. Up here, this is the ladder. This is why we call it a ladder truck. This ladder will go all the way. It'll go 75 feet up in the air, so it'll go way on up there. If there's any kind of high buildings, we can get in there. We got this big old nozzle up there too, so if there is fire, we can put a lot of water on the fire up there. You want to follow me around? This is what the back of the ladder truck looks like. We have seats back here. 6 firefighters can fit in here. You got 4 in the back, 2 up front. And a little bit later on, I'm going to show you about these air packs. Now, if you want to look right here, all of our trucks that carry water have hose on them. We have to get water to the fire, and this is the hose that you see us carrying to the house. This is where the water comes into it. We hook up from a hydrant into here. Water can come out here, and water can come out here. And if you want to follow me on around, you remember on the rescue truck, I mentioned the fan. Well, look, we got another fan. We have electrical cords for light. Light's very important. Fan's very important. Again, with this, you see the big old hose coming down. That's to suck out any bad gases coming from the motor. These are the bottles that we use in the air packs that we take inside. Inside here is the air, just like you breathe outside. It's just compressed down into a bottle, and that allows us, if there is a lot of smoke in there, we don't get hurt from breathing in that bad stuff. Right here, this compartment is kind of an old school version. It's a little bit, the jaws of life we saw earlier, a little bit updated. This one actually runs on gas. It's a power unit, and then it's got a hydraulic hose that operates those spreaders. It's actually a combi tool. It cuts and spreads. Instead of having two different tools, it's all built into one. Now, if you come around to the back of the truck, this is the ladder truck, obviously, and we have a lot of ladders. Remember, we have 75 feet up here, we have 24 feet right here, and we have a 35-foot ladder right here. But we also have a small fold-up attic ladder that's 10 feet. It allows us, if there's fire in the attic or if we need to check out anything, we can climb up that ladder to get to it. We have some more ladders right here. These are called roof ladders. You see, they got little hooks on them, so we can throw them up over the roof, and those will hook onto the peak of the roof, so it's not sliding back down. Again, we got another water hookup right here. This feeds directly into the tip of that ladder. Now, how do we get up to the ladder? Well, here's the steps to get up to it. We climb up these. We have this little guardrail around us because you don't want to fall from right there. Safety is the #1 priority on the scene. In here, you have another medical kit, just like you saw in the rescue truck. And you're going to see a theme here. A lot of these trucks have a lot of the same stuff, because if we're out running a call in the rescue truck, the engine might have to run a medical call too, and they got to have medical stuff, vice versa. Everything is fitted fairly the same. Right here we have a fire extinguisher. That's something that is very important to have in the home as well. There's been a lot of fires that have been put out by the homeowner before we get there, and it actually saves a lot of property that way. Now if we come around here, we have a K-12. This thing's just like a big old cutting wheel. We can cut through chain link, we can cut through garages if the garage is down and we can't get in it. We can cut through a lot of stuff with that. Of course, we got another chainsaw. We got a little rip pack to help pull people out, or if somebody's in there and they need some air to breathe, we can take this in there and help rescue them that way. And this is the driver's compartment. This is everything that they need to get the pump going, different fittings. We got axes, we got shovels, we got more axes, we got wrenches, we got everything that you can possibly think of. And of course we got extra nozzles, more lights. This one right here, this is a big nozzle. This is similar to the one at the tip of the ladder. Okay guys, so right here we have the pump panel. The driver of this truck can control just about every little thing on this truck from this area right here. From getting water into the truck, we have a 500-gallon tank, so it holds a lot of water, but really that's not, 500 gallons sounds like a lot of water, but when you're using some of these lines, it might last you just a few minutes. So we got to get water into it, and from there he can control where he wants the water to go. He can even control the ladder from here. So if nobody gets up there, he can still control ups, downs, everything from right here. Alright guys, this is the last truck right here. This is engine 1, we call it laundry engine 1. This right here is the officer side. He is like our boss. He tells us when we get on scene what line to pull, what the plan of attack is. Whatever he wants us to do, that's what we do. This is where he sits. He's got a little computer up there that we can see what's going on with the call, if there's any new information. And then around here, this is where the rest of us firefighters sit. We'll hop in the back of this truck. This one sits 6 as well. So just like the ladder truck, you have 4 in the back and 2 up front. Now we come on right here, and as y'all might remember with the ladder truck, we got more hoses. This is our hand lines. This is what we typically pull off on most fires. We have one facing this way, one facing the other way. So if the fire's on either side, we can get to it pretty quick. Just like with the ladder truck, we have our intakes and we have our discharges. So we have multiple hookups we can go to. Again, we got this big old line coming down to suck out any bad gases. Come around to this compartment, we have lights. Like we said, very important. More fire extinguishers, different types for different fires. Come on around, we got more bottles, and I'm gonna show you what these go in a little bit later on. Whenever we have another firefighter putting on gear. We have a lot of these actually. Another rip pack for if anybody's inside, or if somebody was to get hurt inside, we can pull them out safely and allow them to keep on breathing air. Come around here, what do we have? Another fan. Another K12, just like you saw on the ladder truck. More chainsaws. Another K12. This thing is really decked out with the tools. Now, if you want to look at the back of this truck, there's some of the ladders just like on the ladder truck. We have another roof ladder, we have a extension ladder, we got a backboard, because like I said, sometimes this might run a medical call. We got to have something to get patients out and keep them secure. Alright guys, and we're on the back side right here again. So we got all this stuff in this compartment is just for cleanup. So if we have a car wreck or something like that, we can help absorb gasoline, diesel, transmission fluid, antifreeze, all the really bad stuff that are in cars that you don't want running everywhere. This helps contain it and absorb it. Now up here, what you didn't see on the ladder truck was we have a big hose bed. The ladder truck only has a small hose bed because it has that big ladder up there. So this contains all the hose that we go and get the hydrant with. This hooks directly to the hydrant. We have all this hose right here to go, because sometimes the hydrant's not very close, so it helps bring the water to the truck. We got some more what we call attack lines over here. We actually have a 3-inch, so this can be a supply, but then we have attack lines over there, so we can pull off from the back, or if y'all remember the ones in the front, we can pull off either side of the front. Now, if we step around to this side, we have more tools. We got sledgehammers, axes, Halligan tools, everything that we might need to force entry or cut down anything, we have right here. We got extra hose right here because if we're on a fire scene, fire can be really nasty, and then all that water, it makes mud and just really nasty stuff. So we have extra hose to replace the hose that we use on the scene. All right guys, so also in this compartment is very important is this water cooler. On hot days, as you know, in Georgia, it gets very hot. So hydration is a very important role for us. We have to stay hydrated. And then the thing too, is when we look at our gear, it does a very good job of keeping all that heat from the fire off of us, but it also does a really good job of trapping our body heat in there. So when we come out, we are looking forward to this right here. If you want to come on down, we have our medical compartment right here. It is set up very similar to all the other trucks. We also have more bottles of air. A lot of people like to, they think that this is a oxygen bottle. It is not. This is the same air that you and me breathe right now. This, however, is oxygen. That is pure oxygen that we use for medical calls. As you can tell, it's in with the medical department. Shut this up. We'll come on down. This is the driver's compartment. It's very similar to the ladder truck. You have all the little appliances and hookups and gadgets and everything else that we need for a fire to make everything run efficiently and smoothly. You have the driver's gear. The one that drives this truck, he is the driver. He puts his gear here, so it's ready to go in case he might have to go into the fire too. Important thing is these big trucks, you gotta have wheel chocks for them too, because if we're on a steep incline, you don't want this big truck going anywhere, because this one holds 750 gallons. So it's 250 gallons more than the ladder truck, which that's a lot of weight. We'll come on down to the pump panel. And once again, it's very similar to what you saw in the ladder truck. The driver can control just about every aspect of this truck from this small area. Whether he wants water going to this hose, we have another hose on top, he can pick and choose where he wants to send the water and how much water, as long as we are getting enough water coming into the truck too. Now this is a really cool part. We're going to take y'all inside the truck right here. So if you want to follow me, this is where we all get up in here. You have a bunch of different steps, so you got to watch your step. And then we just come in and we sit down. And here's the air packs. Remember the bottles I was showing you earlier? This is what they go in. And I'm going to get one of these out and I'm going to show you exactly how these work and what we use them for. Alright guys, so we got a special trick for you today. We got Firefighter Cody Newley. He's going to be putting on this gear. We're going to show you what we look like when we're dressed up. So if you are in a house and it has to be on fire, or if we show up, you're not scared enough to try to hide. We're there to help you. Remember that. So each of this gear is specifically designed to keep the heat off of us. And everything is way heavier. And you'll notice some of the stuff's kind of funny. Because like, you see his boots here, but his pants are already, well, his boots are already in his pants, which you wouldn't do that at the house. But for us, we have to be very quick, because the quicker we're there, the chances of us protecting the property is greater. You know, time is our enemy. We got to be there very fast. So he's going to put this stuff on kind of slow so you get a good idea of what's going on. So we'll start out, if we got a call, he's got a hood. And you got to remember, everything on us is completely covered. There's no skin showing anywhere. So we got this hood that we put on. Next, we're going to step into these boots. And these boots right here, they're steel-toed and they offer a lot of protection. You know, if there's nails or anything like that, if there's wires that can cut us. He's going to pull up his pants. And they're just like regular pants. They got zippers, they got buttons, they got all sorts of stuff. We're going to have suspenders on here too to help keep them up, because these pants are really heavy. And so after that, he's got his radio so he can talk to anybody that's at the fire scene, talk back to command. Next, we're going to go and put on the jacket. The jacket's just like the pants. It's real thick, it's real heavy, helps keep the heat off of us. And as you'll notice, if you look right here, it's actually a few different layers. We're just going to cover up every single piece of skin on it. It zips up, but then it also velcros. By the time he puts all this stuff on, he's not going to look like the same person, but really, it's still coated. Alright, so earlier, if you remember on the trucks I was talking about the air packs. These things, if you look at them, they're kind of just like the book bags that you wear to school. We put this on our back. We have the air bottle back here that allows us to breathe. We're going to put it on here in a second. We're not going to put it on right now because it makes some loud noises, but we're going to let you hear that here in just a second. This is the regulator. This is what allows the air from the bottle to come. It's going to hook onto his mask, and we're going to be able to breathe here in just a second. So remember, he's got all this stuff on. He looks the same, he's just got bulkier clothes on. We're going to put on the mask. We'll put the hood over. So he might look kind of scary right now, but remember, he's still our friend. We're going to put on these helmets. Alright, so remember I said there's going to be no skin showing, right? So what do you think that he's missing right now? He's got on helmet, mask, hood, jacket, pants. The only thing he's missing is gloves, right? We're going to put on some gloves, and after this, he's going to be completely covered up. And when we actually go to a fire, he'll be dressed, I'll be dressed, we'll kind of look over each other and make sure that we're both completely covered. Alright, now it's good to go. So, like I said before, this would hook up directly into there, and we'll cut it on for you right now. You're going to hear some loud beeps. That's air going from the bottle to the regulator. You're going to hear it beep here in just a second to kind of tell you that everything's working right. So now he can hook that into his mask, and he can go into a house fire where there's smoke. It's not going to hurt him. He's not going to breathe in anything bad. Now just remember, when you see somebody like this or hear any of this, don't be afraid. We're there to help you. Alright guys, unfortunately this concludes our virtual tour. I thank you so much for coming and visiting us, seeing our station and how we live around here. Y'all have a great day and stay safe.